Senshio, Vejos, like those are some really high damage champions when it comes to early game skirmishes. And we're on to the Rift for game number 1 between Team Queso and Supremacy. So we have the more standard mid lane than we've seen the last couple of days, and the Vejos in the bottom lane, which is the first pick. We get to see a little bit of that early game presence down there from CarrotCop.
They know what it's like. It's just how they're going to work as a team. And it's kind of the same with Team Queso as well. We know that all these players are so good. You know, talk about Joey and Methanaute in the bot lane. We know how good Vejos is. But it's how they work as a team, because both these teams are fairly brand new. And it's going to be interesting. But look at the top lane already. Miracle wants to scale up.
Well, you can also see Queso knowing the early game presence, so they've brought Methanaute up towards the middle lane to kind of block the Senshio, and Acolyte had already warded out topside in that brush to make sure that he didn't get early ganked from the Senshio. Now the contest over the second crab means that they can kind of put the pressure on around blue buff, but look, the crowd control doesn't connect. They don't really want to go any further. I would be surprised to see Andreszed go any further in here. A little bit tricky when the rest of the team kind of not quite there, but will actually contest the blue buff. Dark Binding does land under the tower, so they know Vejos isn't there. I don't know so much about this. I don't know whether you can continue to contest this. They are going to go for that first kill onto JustFake, but there's the flash out and the command protect, but it's the Fiora picking up the first kill. I was wrong on this one. His first blood has gone over to Team Queso. Methanaute will be able to flash out, but ends up falling. It's a triple kill already over to the Fiora, and this has gone monstrously wrong as 3 kills go over to Team Queso.
Lanes. Morgana is able to push with the pull that she has, so that means CarrotCop is just underneath the tower, and most of the time you're just going to lose minions on the tower if you rotate. And as you can see, in that situation, the Brom passive came up clutch, and Team Queso get a nice early gold lead.
Senshio, and I mean, if Senshio never gets into this game, it's so hard to play a jungler like him. He has one function and can only really do that. He's going to try and survive as a grand challenge. He's going to lock down. Braum is the one that picks up the kill, but look, we're 20 seconds away from objectives spawning, and Miracle is still dead for 10 of them.
Team Queso, we talk about the mid lane priority, the mid lane pressure, but it's all about the top lane at the moment.
Apprehend and nearly manages to catch another as the burn is going to go through off the bleed. Acolyte manages to stay alive. It's going to be another kill going over to Andreszed. They thought perhaps with Vejos in the bottom lane it might have been a bad fight for Queso to actually take, but look, they're able to kind of get their flash into the play. It is going to be a kill going over to Carrot.
He cancelled it.
And that's going to be cancelled for Andreszed. That's a big point here as he was trying to absorb a potential chains of corruption with another parry, but it's another kill going over to this Vejos.
Aggressive, and Andreszed at the moment on this Fiora is so far ahead right now. Already has a 24 completed like we saw, and if you can get a Fiora ahead, we talk about the 1-3-1 composition. I don't really think there's anyone on the side of Supremacy that can really deal with Fiora in the late game.
No, not at all. I was about to say that. Like, Fiora in this game is the late game monster. That's a very scary monster to have 3 kills already, being basically the most fed person in the game. Only Vejos can contest on the amount of gold, and you expect Vejos to be ahead at this point. Bot lane, we're going to go over for another exchange as Fiora Andreszed is going to try and stay alive. Does manage to get it as grand challenge. Does complete for that healing pad, and now may very well look to dive over as Joey is here as well on this Morgana. The binding doesn't connect, but all it does is forces Vejos to run closer to Fiora for another kill.
To come back, we might get something very similar to our first series. Vejos as well, a little bit of trouble, but he should be able to escape really easily.
I want to watch how Queso bounce between their side lanes. Like, you see Vejos now go to the top side to try and absorb the next push from Supremacy, so it allows Andreszed to come up. They just got a 2 versus 1 kill on the bottom side even before Joey came down. Now look, they're going to group top side. Watch the minimap coming up the river. Yes, the action is going on, but Akali's bought time in the Shroud, and here comes the rest of Queso. It's bought enough time because Grand Challenge is going to at least force back the Riven as they pick up the kill onto Miracle, and it just seems all too easy right now for Team Queso, as long as they don't overextend.
Fortunately, they didn't realize that the whole of Team Queso were there at the same time. And like you said, it's really interesting to watch where the priority of Team Queso is with this, you know, kind of 1-3-1 composition. But they're going to try and take another tower now. Hook just missed his.
Yeah, it's not quite enough, but that Braum ultimate does land, and in goes Andreszed trying to take it. It's a 4 versus 3, and this all comes from the fact they spotted Orianna in the bottom lane after Acolyte pushed it up. But Acolyte even manages to pick up a 1 versus 1 kill on the Senshio in the middle lane, and this is all Team Queso dodging away from the hook. They're going to put the pressure on the tower. Not going to be able to take it because of how low health they are, but look, it's all about backing off of that Rift Herald.
Methanaute and Vejos as well, but it seems like they're fitting into the team really well at the moment.
Yeah, what they're doing is kind of like the fundamentals of of MOBA really well in this game so far. Is like, so Acolyte pushed out bottom like 1 minute before. It forced Orianna to show on the wave, right as Zinshao also shows on middle lane. So the 4-man stack in top lane, no, there can only be 3 people here. There's no way of them evening up the numbers. So we take the fight. And then Zinshao dying 1 versus 1 shouldn't really happen there. You're just trying to play for the Rift Herald. But here we go with something else that's really not going to go the way of Supremacy. Is that it's a lot of damage to start off for Supremacy first, though. There's the stasis to keep him alive, and Zinshao's picked up 1, but Supremacy are going to get routed from the rest of this as Acolyte opens up the damage with Andreszed. They did lose Joey, but in goes Vejos, trying to get 1 more kill. They're so low health targets, and yes, he manages to pick it up as Vejos is ticking, but it is not enough to pick up the kill. Andreszed takes the drag.
Red buff tick was not enough, and he was able to get the kill. But yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there with Senshio and Miracle, because it was a 4-man shockwave. It was a lot of damage, and if you could carry on with that damage as well, but then Miracle knocking all the members away.
Like, this is what happens with Senshio. It's the pick either goes off or just dies. And this is a game where you just die because the rest of the enemy team are so far ahead as Andreszed half health CarrotCop in 1 shot of this Fiora. Senshio, literally, all he can do is try and deliver the Orianna ball in and hope that it does enough to actually take the kills. And grand challenge out by Fiora, half health down. It forces him away from the turret. There's now Team Queso going to try and push in for this next turret of the game.
Andreszed is playing with fire right now. You can see the confidence on this player. They've got to try and get a pick in the top lane here, but just like unfortunately not doing too much there. But yeah, as mentioned already, look at Andreszed. Look, he doesn't care at all. He just wants to keep going in and fighting. Yeah,
he's just going in behind towers at this point. Dodges out. The hook doesn't even begin to hit him. Shockwave on 3, but look at the low damage. Chains of Corruption. This is about as good of a start of a fight as Supremacy would be looking for, but Queso was so far ahead. This is, I just looked at the gold totals. It's nearly 15,000 gold at 12 minutes, and like, my math is normally pretty bad, but that's a rampage on Akali, and it's all about hitting him with the wallet at this point. There's literally nothing that Supremacy can do to take this game back into their favor.
No, I think they're just too far behind at this point. I think I've only ever seen a game once get to like a 20,000 gold difference at the end of the game, to be honest. We sometimes see it being really, really close to 20,000, but this could be the game that we could see like a 20,000 plus gold lead. And you can see the members of Team Queso are pinging towards the Baron now. They know they can take this. They know how far they are ahead. You can see the build, interestingly enough, as well for Joey. Now, most of the time with Morganas in the duo lane, you'd like to see some sort of mana being built, because at the moment when you keep spamming the pool, sometimes you get really, really low on mana. You can see the Andrews combo with the Rylai's Crystal Stepfar. You can see the slows that will be coming out from Joey as well, and the amount of damage. And again, look how confident Team Queso are playing with right now. Acolyte as well.
There's some damage coming through, but Acolyte still has that barrier, and there's still that heal as soon as Grand Challenge completes. Akali goes unstoppable. It's all about Queso running through the team composition. More damage from Andreszed, picks up the double kill for Vejos' Akali before he ends up falling. That's 1 kill going back over, but now it's going to be the Baron for Team Queso.
Yep, Baron is going to be pretty easily taken by the side of Team Queso as well. And Andreszed on this Fiora this game, I have to highlight him. You know, around the whole entire map, you know, you saw the plays in Baron lane. You saw the plays as he was rotating around the map as well. Joey flashing in onto the back line as well. And we spoke about Joey. Hal spoke a little bit about Joey before this game as well. We know how talented this player is. We normally see him on the AD carries, the likes of Bane in the duo lane as well, which maybe we might see in the next game. But you know, he can play AP mages as well, which we haven't really seen too much of him.
Yeah, at this point in the game, Andreszed 619 on the game, and nothing mysterious about this Fiora performance. Is gonna try and push down the inhibitors. It's impossible to deal with these Baron minions, even with a Varus who typically is very good at it. But look, all the health is melting away from the side of Supremacy. Acolyte does get the blocked ultimate, so it doesn't get the reset on that Noxian execution, but it's, I mean, Andreszed still picks up another kill. Low health bar, so they might have to reset in that lane, but here comes Vejos in for the kill on the top side off the Proto Belt. Now Vejos is going to take tower damage, might get run down. It's a little bit messy, but a teleport is going to come back through for Andreszed. He's full health again. Gonna walk these super minions through and try and push down to end the game.
Yeah, I think JustFake, you don't want to be the one that wants to try and defend the tower against an Acolyte. You see more teleports coming now. I think Team Queso just want to end it. Yeah.
Queso are like, we've won this game. Just spend all the money. Spend it all. It doesn't matter. Invest in teleports and just go in and end the game right now. That's so funny to see that happen. Queso are going to take this first game against Supremacy and assert their supremacy on this upper bracket as well. One more win would put them up against Game Lords in our next phase of the competition. But as we load onto the Rift for game number 2, it is Supremacy that'll be looking to bounce back and make this series a 1-1. And this has been an odd draft compared. I feel like Supremacy got some really strong picks, and like I wasn't expecting Brand to be really a pick that has any prominence in this draft. So I feel like Queso maybe in that sense have a slightly weaker bot lane than they would have expecting.
Yeah, the interviews, not the interview section, but like the video beforehand when they were asking players who's their worst champion they hate to play against, and Joey said Garen. So we're gonna have to see what Joey's gonna be like against this Garen. But you can see this mid lane match at the moment. Oh my god, so much damage for Vejos, but Miracle's here as well.
Yeah, Miracle's looking for the pick-off in mid lane, and Vejos just in enough time to get onto top side. Not able to connect to his Miracle. That's an Ignite early on, and now Miracle's in a really bad position, as that's Methanaute coming into the lane as well, looking for that Braum passive to stun more members in. And Team Queso, they've already got the first kill for First Blood. They will back away and take this bottom trap.
Yeah, a little bit of an overextension there for Miracle, but Acolyte, oh, he gets the solo kill. And there is the Darius versus Garen matchup.
Yeah.
It's not ended.
It's gonna continue as Thresh is gonna drop bot side. It's a solo bolo for Team Queso. Acolyte showing his Darius play.
So luckily we didn't miss anything.
What happened was I saw right as we went into the replay, Vejos actually got level 5, and I think Senshio was like, oh, he's got Dominus, I'm never gonna kill him, I don't have Ignite. So I think really fortuitous experience timing for Vejos to get the ultimate there, right as he was playing very risky. Now up into top lane, it's going to be a kill for Acolyte, surely, as he's going to knock C and execution. Does get blocked for some of the damage down.
That interaction is so funny. I can't help it. But bot lane as well, though.
Yeah, Shockwave comes through, and there's further damage from this Brand as Joeyscags and Methanaute pick up one in the bottom lane. Eyes deceive me in some of these skirmishes. Ooh. So Acolyte, nevertheless, though, we see him on the Darius a whole bunch. Like, here's where this skirmish might very well pay off for Queso, because they've got the ultimate on the Braum, on the Brand available, I should say. Acolyte flash into the apprehend. Suplex comes through, but the damage is not quite there to get the kill off it exactly. And there's the first kill. Shockwave is good, but there's no real follow-up damage. Joeyscags ends up falling, but 2 of Supremacy die as well.
When you have the likes of Orianna that wants to scale, but in the bot lane, Supremacy, they do find the pick that they wanted, and they do find a little bit of advantage here, and they can look to try and take a tower for themselves, or even the Dragon.
Okay, so I'm sensing a pattern with Queso that Vejos loves to play down in the solo lane alone when objectives are being focused. That's the second game in a row where he's like, I'm going to push the tower, and then something has happened on the other side of the map. So characteristic around this time of the game that I think the better teams will punish even harder, because like Queso just lose a player.
Caught out themselves, and you can see the rotations again, and this is kind of the problem when you lose mid lane tower. And Sanji, I don't know if this is one you want to take, but Supremacy had a numbers advantage there, but not going to go too aggressive just yet. But yeah, look at the mid lane. You can see the mid lane is just getting pushed in. They're just losing all this experience and minions, but they're trying to fight.
Methanaute is going to block a ton of damage. Vejos as well. He's got that enrage bar filled up. Will get the first kill as he takes Thresh. It will trade 2 kills either side, though. That was because of the numbers advantage in favor of Supremacy. So 2 kills go over to the Orianna as we're taking a look at Acolyte now down in the bottom lane. He's holding 1,500 gold, so he does need to go back and shop sometimes. Strong pick, he gets that early on. This time it's first rotation Olaf, and he's like crushing this game. Like, Andreszed is definitely a player to watch from Queso.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, people know how well he is already, and like he's just going in.
Oh, he's running this Garen down, going under the tower with the ultimate on. Is going to be able to, well, won't be able to get away. Will get shut down. But look, the rest of the team are just dunking. Vejos is pushing top lane. There's a kill in the bottom lane. Olaf's diving towers in the middle lane. It's scrappy from Queso, but I think it's because they know how far ahead they are. Now Vejos is going to get 1 kill, back himself away. Joeyscags is here. It's only the support here. It's JustFake.
How far ahead they are. They're taking the Rift Herald. They're going to look to try and use the Rift Herald mid lane as well now. And yeah, we're going to look to see how cleanly they can close out this game.
Yeah, they. When we say cleanly, it's not going to be very, but they're still going to try and close it out as Andre is running through mid lane. There's a shockwave. This is the combination that they were looking for. Here comes the picks from Supremacy, and this is the damage. But oh, that's low health targets. One kill already for Acolyte. He can't quite get into the back line for more, but he has that ultimate available for the Noxian execution. Doesn't get the second reset. And actually gets punished by Sanjiren. Oh, the tiniest of health to survive. It's messy. It's messy for Queso, but it's so fun to watch. As Sanjiren, he's on the long road to try and get out of this one, as Garen is going to distract.
The kings themselves. This could last a long time. I think Sanji is very tanky. You can see he's just healing up everything, but he could probably turn this, to be honest, and try and kill Andreas. But no, unfortunately not. He is going to die at the end. But that mid lane interaction with the Garen, the god kings themselves, Noxus against the Marcion, Darius versus Garen. That's the sort of fights that you love to see with the lore of League of Legends, what we know and love. And the lantern away there, but yeah, as you mentioned, it is very, very messy on the side of Team Queso at the moment, but Supremacy are finding picks, they're finding kills to get themselves back in the game. Let's see
now Queso are finding picks though, because Miracle's down, Sanjiren still hasn't respawned, Dragon is going to go over their way, and they're going to continue to stomp their authority on the game.
Yeah, comes out on top, and he did die eventually. I thought the replay would have cut off there, because we might have been waiting for another 3 minutes until we saw Sanji die as well, but Sanji could be the one getting caught himself.
Yeah, caught out again. He's going to get locked down. This time it should be an easy pickoff, but he actually manages to survive again. This guy's got 9 lives. That's the worst feeling as a Darius, where you've got your first kill and you're like, this is an easy quadra, and then you misjudge the damage by 10, and you're like, oh no. Well, he's going to die eventually, but just helping JustFake helping the repel to direct this onto the tower. There's the kill in mid lane, but again, look at Queso going low. This is so scrappy. They're just throwing everything
top lane as well.
Supremacy. This dunk doesn't work either. Top lane dunk works. Queso are gonna try and tidy this one up. I mean, Queso, they're so low. Can you just don't take these fights? They're so low. You don't need to be doing this. You're so far ahead. Oh, the style hook gets it. I mean, Supremacy are holding on for now. Baron's up to 24. They can't take it immediately for Queso.
These sorts of games are so fun to watch sometimes. But yeah, in Wild Rift, if Supremacy can find one team fight now and take the Baron, they can easily come back into this game. If you don't know from Wild Rift, you come from PC League. Basically, the Wild Rift games don't last 40 minutes long. No. When you get to about 30 minutes at this stage of the game, you're pretty much a late game, and you'll get 40, 50-second death timers. So if Supremacy can win one team fight, they can easily get back into this game. And Queso needs to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, and as soon as Garen shows bot lane, it's all about running down the mid lane. Good shockwave, but there's no follow-up. They're not able to do any more. CarrotCop, maybe it could have set Senshio up, but look, the damage comes out from set. It's not quite enough to do much to Queso, as they are going to drag the rest of Supremacy into the fight. I don't think they need Baron either. Once they're playing clean, once they're playing that controlled pace, Queso are able to take this first inhibitor. Vejos goes down to the bot lane. The rest of the team will rotate out to the top side.
If you don't know, Serra's Grudge allows your abilities to slow. The first ability already slows. I'm not really too sure if it kind of stacks the slows in a way on the first ability. I'm not really too sure how the interaction works, but yeah, you can use the third ability as well.
It also counts on attacks, right? And
not on attacks, it's just abilities. Just abilities it all count towards. So it's the piercing arrow by Vejos, for example, but it won't work on his auto attacks.
I've been playing with Serra's Grudge totally wrong then, so thank you for enlightening me on that one. I've been assuming I'm slowing. When I basically only play Ashe. Yeah, the slows come through as they push down in the bottom lane, and they're going to keep moving through. Queso have the Baron buff. It's really difficult with this composition for Supremacy to actually clear the waves. They have to basically stand in them to clear them out, and that's exactly what Queso want them to do. As Acolyte is going to try and push through onto Sanjiren in the top side. The box has been used bottom lane, but Set's already dead here. Shockwave only hits on one, and even if they can convert that into the kill, the rest of Team Queso are going to be here to mop up the enemies. Acolyte picks up one with the dunk. The turret has already gone down. Low health bars, but it doesn't really matter because Queso, they're going to take this game 2-0. They're going to take the series and advance to face Game Lords. Although these are very low, I don't think it's enough. But one more dunk from Acolyte as Queso shut the series out 2-0. They will face